Hey, we're back at the spreadsheet. I wanted to talk about some more different forms of silver and gold. We talked about junk silver the other day, but let's throw in something that used to be fairly common, um, sterling silver uh, flatware. Now, a lot of the stuff you'll find in the stores today is plated, but here's an example of 92.5% silver, and I think it's 7.5% of copper. So these are actually more expensive. There's a huge premium, like 400% premium, and it's mostly because of it's more like jewelry. They have to um, make this rather than just a simple stamping process. This is actually pretty doggone involved. So I found this one here, and this is one of the more common. And you will see that sometimes these things are, twice as much. But right now, this is 11.38 pounds. When you convert that to troy ounces, that's 165.96 troy ounces. So when you multiply it times 14.77 spot, if you were buying like rounds or something, you'd pay 2,200 bucks, but instead it's 8,100 bucks. So that's 357% premium on this. But this is something to consider because you might go to a garage sale or something and pick this up. People might not know what they have, and this would be a phenomenal find. But it's still, even though we're comparing like a melt cost here. This has value like jewelry has value above and beyond the actual metal because of its form, the way it's done. So this is something to consider too. So sterling silver, has value, and you may have some rings, you may have some necklaces, things like that. So keep that in mind that there's, but its ultimate value is like the melt value. So you probably don't want to overpay too much for this because you just may not be able to get it out if you're trying to use it for trade or barter or something else. So then I forgot to mention we didn't do the premium on the junk silver, but remember we were talking about eagles. We could have as much as 18-20% premium unless you're buying huge quantities. You might get down to 13. But just this one, I did a quick calculation and I found out it's about 11% premium. So that's not zero, right? You're still paying a little bit for this, and I could go do another, 1,000 face value and see if it's any different. But just wanted you to know that's the premium we're paying for that. Now, somebody was saying they wouldn't accept this junk silver, but I'd sit here and say, look, it's 90% silver. I don't care what form it is. I know that this is roughly 90% silver, and I would be glad to take that because I know silver is valuable. It doesn't matter that it's mixed with other things, and the reason why I say that because even our gold coins, we don't call them junk gold, but yet this is 90% gold, 10% copper. This one was like almost 92% gold and a little bit 1% silver. These things here. And by the way, these things are way expensive. I went looking these things up, and these are hugely rare and difficult. I did find one that was pretty well worn for 1,865 bucks, and that might be cool just to have for a collection. But it was obviously used. So then the pre-1933 Gold Eagle coins um, were roughly 92% gold, 3% silver, 5% copper. And so even these, and today it's still basically the same composition, so we don't call those junk gold. But they were made of a material that would wear less, when you carry them around in your pocket with other coins. So anyways, I wanted to run that by you so that you'd be aware of that. Let me go ahead and do another $1,000 face value and see what this looks like for the junk silver. All right. Magically, it only took me like about 3 minutes to do this, but to you it was microseconds, so that's pretty amazing. But
They did have $500 face and 1,000 face. So this is troy ounces times 5 of that, and then times 10 of that. And it turns out the spot price for that many ounces would be 52.80, and the cost currently is 54.94.78, which is only 4% premium. And then you go to $1,000 face, and so you had 10,560, uh, which is 1477 times 715, and the cost that Provident has right now is 10,989, so that's 3.9% premium. So that shows you that again, buying in bulk. But you know, this is a monster box size here, right? You're spending almost I think a monster box is probably around $9,000, and so this is an equivalent of, you know, a little more than 500 ounces. But that's a lot of money. I don't know who's going to go off and do that, but you can see you can get it cheaper. So, anyways, I hope this is helpful. To me, you know, it would be nice to have 100% purity, you know, 4 9s, but you can see a lot of these bars are 3 9s, and we know the Buffalo, Gold Buffalo is 4 9s, but you have to realize that is not meant to carry around in your pocket, banging around with other coins. It's going to get worn really quick, really fast, because gold is just very soft. They intentionally uh, mix other metals to make them wear a little better. So I don't care, truthfully, that if it's 92% silver. Now here's the only real problem. Let's say we had a Carrington event and it wipes out all of our computers. We don't have electricity. How are we going to be able to evaluate this stuff? It's not going to be easy, right? So you're going to be back to barter. You know, do you have an egg, or do you have a rabbit, or do you have you know, soap that we can trade for something else? I mean, that's probably going to be primarily what you use. It's going to take a while before somebody can keep track of what things are really valued at. You know, do you have water? I'm trying to cover all angles. You know, I got my water, I got my food, I'm growing my own garden, I'm growing my own animals. You know what? I don't know what else you can do. You get these kind of metals and things, truthfully, for when everything comes back on, you have money. But you know, if we go back to the 1800s, it's going to be about survival first and foremost. And so you're going to have these other things, like I said, garden and water and shelter and animals to kind of carry you through, because we don't know how long it's going to take. Now, the other thing was, if we don't have a Carrington, if it's just like Venezuela, keep in mind there's still going to be coin shops, there's going to be pawn shops that you will be able to convert all of these different forms of metals that I've been showing you, whether it's bars, coins, rounds, sterling silverware, junk silver, and you can either convert it into other precious metals. So you know, if you had a eagle that was 1 ounce eagle, and you know, maybe it's worth, you know, a whole bunch of money, you can convert it to silver where it's more fractional, so you can do things with it. Or you can convert it to currency, whether it's paper or electronic. That's what they're doing in Venezuela. So anyways, that's still going to be an option unless we go back to the 1800s. So anyways, that's kind of all I got to say. I hope everybody's treating you well. I hope you're doing well. Do the best you can. God bless.